Our Wendy's female high school athlete of the week. She is a junior bowler from Topeka, Seaman, and she had a phenomenal start to the season at the Hayden Quad last week. How about going over 700 for in a series for the second time in her career? The only two times it's ever happened at Seaman. Makenzie Millard is our guest. And Makenzie, let's just talk about the Hayden Quad last week. What was working so well for you to go up over 700 through the three games?
I was just really focused and determined. I feel like with this year being completely different, it's going to push me a lot harder.
You mentioned that this year has been completely different, and it's different for so many athletes and so many sports. For bowling specifically, what have been some of the differences this year compared to years prior?
There's not fans cheering, which is really weird. It's just I'm so used to my mom being back there and cheering me on, and she's not there, so it's really different.
When you have fans there, whether it is your own family, whether it's other folks who are there cheering on the team, how much energy does that kind of give you during an event, and how hard is that to kind of generate on your own when you don't have those fans there?
Um, it's hard to generate by myself, but I mean, I have my teammates to help me, and when we're all in a good mood, it helps a lot more than usual. But it's it's hard not having my mom or my grandma and grandpa there. So
We're talking to Makenzie Millard, a junior bowler for Seaman, who went over 700 in a series at the Hayden Quad last week to lead Seaman to a team win. You mentioned some of your teammates and all being together and working like that, and we'll get to your team as a whole in a second, Makenzie, but I just want to ask you about making some history for the program. You're the only one in Seaman history to go over 700, and you've done it twice. Had you ever think about those things? Do things like personal records mean a lot to you, or for you, is it just more all about the team?
I didn't actually know that I was the only girl to have a 700 until maybe a week or two ago. So it really shocked me, but mostly it's just a team thing. I'm, I mean, personal records, they're good and all, but what matters most is team.
And your team came away with an overall group victory at Hayden. And obviously, you're off to a great start to the season. You closed last year late in the season. You had your first 700, went over it to open up this season. What did you notice about your teammates' efforts as well? You weren't the only one who performed well at the quad. What did you think of the whole group effort this past week?
I think we did really well. We've been practicing a lot on spares, and it really did pay off.
We were talking a little bit about how different things are, and with no fans, of course, that changes things so much. In terms of actually practicing, how have things been different? Do you have to wear masks every time you're rolling? Do you have to do, different times, different spacing? Can you kind of take us through what bowling looks like when you're kind of socially distanced?
Yeah. So there's three schools at the bowling alley, and we're all separated. There's like a pair in between us, and then we're in like our own little pod. And we have to wear a mask, and then when we're up to bowl, we can take them off. But we are like Seaman is in their own little pod, and then Washburn Rules in their own little pod. So we're equally spaced out, but yeah, we have to wear a mask.
Has that been kind of weird for you to adjust to, or is it just kind of normal now? I know it's a little bit of a different layout than what you've experienced prior. Is it kind of just what life is like now, or has it been a bit of a hard adjustment?
I wasn't used to it at first when the bowling alleys first opened up after quarantine, but I've just gotten used to wearing it and getting through the season.
Makenzie Millard is our guest, our Wendy's Female Athlete of the Week, a junior bowler from Seaman. All right, Makenzie, let's look ahead to the rest of the season. There's a whole lot to go in the bowling season, and I'm curious, for you personally and for your team, what are some of your overall goals the rest of the year? Do they have postseason implications? Do you have scores you want to hit on a regular basis? What are some of your goals the rest of this year?
My goals are just to stay focused and do the best that I can, and for a team, just to be positive with the circumstances and try to at least make state.
Is that something that you have always wanted to do when you go back, because you're a junior this year? You've already been in the program for a little while. Have these kind of been your goals constantly, or have they changed over time? Thinking more about the team versus yourself, or yourself versus the team. Have your goals really changed over time, or has this been pretty consistent for you?
I mean, freshman year I did think a lot about myself since it was my first time, but over time I don't really focus on myself. I make sure that the team is doing good because at the end of the day, it's a team effort.
Well, it was a great individual and team effort for Makenzie Millard and Seaman. She puts up a 727 in the Hayden Quad this past week. Seaman comes away with a team victory, and Makenzie is our Wendy's Female Athlete of the Week. Makenzie, thank you so much for taking a few minutes for me today, and good luck with the rest of your season.
Thank you.